Hi, and welcome to Tiflydesigns. Today we're sharing the cards that we created using our Simon Says stamp March card kit. And today I'm feeling a little under the weather, so my voice is a little. So I hope you guys enjoy, and here we go. For the first card, I'm using this stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm trying to get that little witch hat and kind of manipulate it so we can make a hat for our first card. And I know, like I said, this is a witch hat. It's actually a Halloween stamp set, and we're gonna stamp it on our pattern paper. At first I was gonna use that flowery one, but then I decided that the pattern would be too sporadic, so I'm using this pink one with the box pattern on it. And I just stamped the hat. We're gonna color the black area, and then we're gonna cut it out with a circular top. So here we go. To put the card together, I had here my hat, my sentiment that came from the paper pad, and all that's adhered to a very light pink piece of cardstock. And we're going to add it to that pattern paper with all the hats. We add our card front to a white card base, and that's it for card number one. For card number two, I started with a pink piece of cardstock, and I used the umbrella die set to create this umbrella. And the die set is actually from MFT. I'm not sure if it's still available, but I love this die. Then we add another sentiment that's in our pattern paper, and it says spring showers bring Mayflowers. And I just add the umbrella to the left of my sentiment. And then we're going to add it to our pattern paper background, which is filled with a lot of cute rain boots. Then we add this to a white card base again, and that's it for card number two. For card number three, I'm stamping this window twice, and I'm making a slimline card. And once I've stamped the image, we're gonna use our Copic markers to color the image, and I'll see you at the end. As you can see at the sides, I used some of the stamps from the kit, the block that look like bricks. I stamped them all around the images just to get an illusion of there is a wall there. Then I used the Fabric Distress ink to just add some color to the outside of the image, and I'm ensuring that the parts directly over the bricks is darker than the rest of the card and the rest of the background. For the sentiment, we stamped the sentiment on a piece of vellum, and it says, "You're always welcome. Hope to see you soon." And we're just gonna cut that out and add it to the front of our image, like so. Add it to a white card base, and that's it for card number 3. Card number 4, I started with this black and white stripe piece of pattern paper. I'm gonna add a piece of pink paper across the front, and this pre-printed sentiment will be used from the pattern paper, and it says, "I must have flowers always, always." And I'm going to use one of the pattern paper and cut out a few of the flowers from the pattern paper, which we're going to add to our scene. And this is the pattern paper that we cut the flowers from. And we're gonna just add them to whatever design we would love. And I actually added the foam tape to this one, and the rest of them from at the top will be flat to the surface. Once I finish adhering the flowers, I'm just gonna add this to a white card base. And that's it for card number 4. For card number 5, I used another piece of that black and white paper and added that floral pattern paper at the bottom. And I separated with a small piece of pink cardstock. And I'm going to add one of the pre-printed mini cards that had these 3 potted plants. And we're actually going to adhere that using some foam tape. This was also added to a white card base, and that's it for card number 5. For card number 6, I cut a piece of the double-sided pattern paper, 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just gonna fold the top left corner in and the bottom right corner in, revealing the other pattern on the other side. Then I glue those corners down, some liquid glue. Then I'm gonna frame that entire thing with some black cardstock. And I'm just using my scissors and eyeballing it. Then I added my sentiment that says be you, be bright, be happy. I've also framed that with some black cardstock, and this is a pre-printed sentiment from the paper pad, and I just added it the entire thing to a piece of white pink cardstock and a white card base, and that's it for card number 6. For card number 7, I started with this pretty pattern paper and this light pink at the bottom, and we're going to use a pre-printed sentiment again, which I've framed with pink cardstock and light green cardstock. And I felt like the two patterns in the back, not patterns, the two papers in the back needed a separation. So I got a thin piece of black cardstock and to separate them. At first I tried the pink, didn't like it. And since some of the flowers in the back pattern paper is black, I decided to try a very thin piece of black cardstock, and it's perfect. So add my sentiment that says spring flowers bring May flowers. Add it to a white card base, and that's it for card number 7. For card number 8, I started with a scrap piece of cardstock, and I covered that with some double-sided adhesive, and I'm using strips of some of the pattern paper from the kit, and I'm just gonna add it till I have this covered, and I'm gonna cut it down and create our next card. Once everything is cut to the size that I like, I'm going to add it to this light piece of pink cardstock. I'm just trying to get rid of some of the adhesive. And then we're going to add this sentiment that I framed with some black cardstock. And I'm adhering it with some foam tape. And it just says gather. This card can be used like for invitation to Thanksgiving dinner or some other holiday dinner. And oops, I'm just gonna add it to our background. I just love the colors on this kit. Once I've adhered my sentiment, I add it to a white card base, and that's it for card number 8. Card number 9 is actually my longest card in time. I stamped this huge window, and I'm going to use some watercolors to color the image, and then we'll put our card together. I decided that our window needs some curtains, so I kind of use a pencil to draw our curtains and we cut them out. We use a craft knife to cut our windows out, and then we added our curtains in the back. I chose this pattern paper to frame, excuse me, frame our colored image. I thought it looks like bricks, but then it didn't look as much like bricks once added my once I put my colored image on. So I decided to cut the same paper, some of it in strips, and then layer it like bricks would be layered. So we have every other line. You see the next frame. What I mean. Here's what I'm talking about. So then it actually looks like bricks. So like I said, I cut strips of the same pattern paper and just glue them across and having the lines in between each box. Then I added my image again and it looks so much better. And then I added to a white card base, and that's it for card number 9. This is card number 10. I'm not sure what happened to all my images that I recorded, but it seems that they just froze at a certain point and nothing is happening. But for card number 10, I combined two of the pre-printed images from the pattern papers. This one says gather the ones you love, and then I cut out those potted plants again from one of the cards that I did prior, and I adhere these two together on a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to add a piece of pink cardstock between them both to separate them. And when you see in the final card, I added a heart because it says gather the ones you love. So I added a little pink heart and framed it with a frame from a Simon Says Die set, which I'm going to put the name above. And once I done that, I've added it to this pretty pattern paper again. This is one of my favorite papers in the kit. Just added it to this pattern paper, added it to a white card base, and that's it for card number 10. I think this one is actually my favorite. Our bonus card is a shaker card. I started by cutting our frame for our shaker using this pretty blue pattern paper, and I'm using a stitched die from MFT. Then we're gonna add our acetate and foam tape, and you get a piece of acetate in the kit. In the front of my acetate, I added a pre-printed sentiment that says spring flowers, and I actually framed it with some pink cardstock. And this pretty floral pattern paper will be the background for our shaker. At first, I added these flowers and some sequins, and once I put it together, no shaking, no shaking took place because all the flowers kept intertwining with each other and just got stuck one spot. Excuse me. Here I'm adding some powder to the corners of the foam adhesive so that my shakers don't get stuck. Like I said, I added the flowers and it didn't work, so I ended up adding some just sequins and like a couple of plastic flowers that I found in my stash, and it worked out much better. So here you have what my shaker looks like. As you can see, that lonely flower up there, and there's another one on the bottom left, bottom right, because the sequins are kind of hiding it. And like I said, I'm not sure what happened to all my video captions or whatever you call them, but they all just froze at a certain point, and I don't know what happened. So this is my shaker card and bonus card, and that's it for all the cards for today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.